We're Hootsuite and live.
Toot sweet.
Toot toot the sweet toot. Hey guys, we're live. Ooh.
Live and
Happy Mardi Gras. Happy Fat Tuesday.
Just the
Oh,
fattest
so
Tuesdays.
Fat Tuesday.
I'm so fat I'm gonna make chocolate chip cookies after this.
Well, actually, that is true.
It's actually true.
I know. Did you stop the oven?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have it running for an hour and a half.
How long do you think we're gonna? No,
Hour
never
and a
mind.
half. No, might as well just turn it back on.
It doesn't take that long to
Yeah,
preheat.
10 minutes.
Oh, they look so happy.
Oh,
Like they love each other on Valentine's Day or something. Skip.
well, they may not be.
Oh shit. What's our Hootsuite account? It logged me out.
You tell me. I don't own it. It's yours.
No.
It's yours.
I'm gonna assume it's ours. Sign in. Yes, I know. Okay. Sometimes I wish they'd tell me what their criteria is for passwords. That way I know what I'm hitting.
Yeah, I kind of wish that would become the norm. Because every once in a while I'll be like, oh, this is one where I have to have a capital and a number and a special character.
Yeah.
Because that would tell me which one I need to do. But maybe that's why they don't do it. Because it's too easy.
Then I don't know.
Yeah, in this day and age, I don't know how you're supposed to keep track of all your passwords anymore.
I think there's an app for that.
Yeah, there's stuff you can do like LastPass. My work used to use LastPass when I worked at My Choice. And it's like, I get that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of also don't want a company knowing all my logins either. So it's like it's a lose-lose situation. Either I have to keep track of it myself, or I give my information to a company to keep track of it.
Okay, I'm just gonna resend an email to redo it. Or we're just on Hootsuite right now.
I mean, if we don't Hootsuite, what's the point of going live is kind of the question I would have. Because if nobody knows we're live.
Oh, no. It tells me we go live on Twitter.
Twitter?
Yeah, you have to think about that.
I just got the email.
Okay, can you reset the password then?
Yeah. Reset your Hootsuite password. Because I have this hooked up to my phone, I guess.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. Reset. Yes, this is you.
Yes. Reset the password, because I tried several times and...
Okay, what do you put what you want?
New password.
Marche and Hotarek.
And...
Tu Vua fa l'Americano by Renato Cresone. Just got a little short, little skirt. It's cute. Trinkov. Kilimov. And
Okay. Alright.
Suzuki.
Now let's try this.
We went from having 3 minutes, now 2 minutes.
Come on. There. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Maybe later on with push notifications.
Do it and do it.
Okay.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it and do it and do it. Do it. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. No, should probably stop because I don't want us to get flagged.
For what?
Copywritten songs.
For what?
I was singing a song.
Oh. No, it's with the actual song.
Hey, I've heard stories, man.
No, because we can.
I've heard
mock
stories of people whistling tunes and getting flagged.
Well, even then, it's just it's only it only won't monetize it then. Like we're gonna monetize it anyways.
No, what they've done to us before, they'll be like, "Oh, we're just gonna take the audio out."
Okay. Yep, we're going. So we're live with a special Fat Tuesday episode.
Okay, good. Now we can start Audacity.
Ah, damn it.
Audacity.
All right, here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. Ding 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 ding
Boom,
ding.
boom, boom, boom.
It is Tuesday, February the 13th.
Oh, so fat.
This is episode 110. This is our pre-Valentine's Day. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Today is Mardi Gras. It's the
Yes.
fattest Tuesday.
Oh, so fat.
My name is Matt.
Look at all this.
His name is Mike Lip Balm Nada.
Oh, you're gonna use that? Also, you're kind of loud. You're kind of spiking it.
I am spiking it. I'm like a volleyball player. But there's no volleyball going around here. Instead, this is Winter Olympic season. We've got some ice skating going on our TV. We watched some awesome snowboarding tonight, but we'll get to that a little later. First up is movies.
Yeah, so like I said, we're a Media Boat Podcast.
Yes.
We talk about movies, TV,
Yeah,
music, and
I
video
skipped that
games.
part. You're right. Yeah, news about movies, television.
Stuff that happened this
Video
past
games,
week, and
music.
even like up to this past hour.
Yes, it could have been.
If should news drop.
Should news drop,
Yep,
we'll pick
so,
it up.
So let's get right into it then.
Let's get
Where
right
we
into
always
it.
do with
Movies.
movies.
What have you seen any movies lately?
No,
sir?
but I will see Black Panther this weekend.
Yes, it's Black Panther weekend, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yes. I was supposed to see 1517, the Paris
yes.
Clint Eastwood movie. Didn't get around a chance to seeing it. I think if we didn't podcast today, I would have saw it tonight. For tomorrow, normal Wednesday show.
Right. But since tomorrow is
Valentine's Day.
Gal Day.
Well, no, today is Galentine's Day.
Oh, well, yes. I mean, like, when you're going to hang out with your gal.
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow. Among all sorts of other people who are probably going to do the same thing. So, I didn't see any movies this week either. So, let's just...
Oh, wait, we did. We saw one.
We saw a movie?
We saw a movie.
We saw a movie.
We watched Icarus.
That's yeah, I
Technically,
guess
that counts.
Yeah, we watched Icarus, the documentary on Netflix about the Russian doping scandal, among other things.
Yes, because it is Olympic, and because we keep wondering why they keep saying OAR, the Olympic athletes from Russia, and without showing their flag. And they keep explaining it, but I knew that this documentary was on Netflix because it's actually nominated for documentary for the Academy Awards.
Yeah, and I heard amazing things going into it. I had kind of done my own research, looking into the news about what was going on with the Russian the Russian government being banned this time from the Olympics, whereas their individual athletes could submit themselves to be eligible for events non-associated with their country. So they're still referred to as representing Russia, but because the government of Russia is not involved, no Russian flag exists. They're not represented by the Russian flag. they are not represented by the Russian anthem. So if they win gold, the Olympic anthem is played.
Isn't this Olympic news, though?
I mean, yes, technically, but I wanted to mention that
Yes.
while we're on the subject. But yeah, so that's all kind of explained here in this documentary about the guy, the Russian man, who was the
Director of the anti-doping lab.
director of the anti-doping lab. So the guy who was basically doing these control, ostensibly, of the Russian athletes and making sure they weren't doping. Turns out the same guy was also making
sure that they would pass
untraceable
all these
drugs for these athletes to take to not get caught, essentially, to dope and not get caught for it. But the craziest thing about this, and you should really see the documentary, it kind of does a good job of explaining all this and why this matters, is the fact that it was probably
see special tomorrow.
Yeah, probably state sanctioned. It sounded like the call was coming directly from Putin to make all this happen, and so that way the Russians would make a good impression on Sochi, the last Winter Olympics, and do really well there. And so, that's kind of the conspiracy here. It goes into some fascinating places. I recommend it. It's on streaming on Netflix now, and it's up for an Academy Award.
Yeah, definitely recommend streaming this, especially because the Olympics are going on right now.
Yeah.
It definitely goes into more about doping, and it starts off with Lance Armstrong.
Yes.
But then it goes very heavily into the whole Russia investigation about anti-doping and how this one guy was basically being told by Putin to make sure that their athletes would pass drug tests. And he's the director of this thing.
Yeah.
Not director of the film, but director of the anti-doping lab.
Right. It's insane.
Which is insane of how high that goes.
And the fact that he's just like, I'm getting, I'm kind of in the doghouse for my own country. I'm going to escape Russia, and I'm going to live with you, dude, that I've been only talking to for like months. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to let you film me the whole time.
Yeah, that was a weird thing about it. That this guy knows he's guilty.
Yeah.
Knows what he's been doing, is very open about all this doping stuff.
He's just straight up telling people about it.
Like, he's so open, he doesn't wear a shirt.
The most open you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how many times he'll just, like, start telling somebody about, like, oh, yeah, I can totally give you drugs.
Yeah, I mean, he put this guy on a 6-month plan for drugs, so that way, when he did get tested, he would still pass. And it's pretty astonishing.
Yeah, so check that out if that sounds interesting to you. It's a really well-made doc with a fascinating story. But, is that the only movie we saw?
Yeah, I think that's the only one. I'm trying to think of anything else I saw on Netflix, but I don't think I saw any movies.
Then we can move on. Let's move on to the box office. Weekend box office numbers from the last weekend. This pre-Valentine's Day weekend, of course, was dominated by a Valentine's Day friendly movie, as we called last week. 50 Shades Freed is your #1 movie this weekend, making a $38.5 million debut, which is right under where we put it at 45.
Yeah, we put it at 45, conservatively.
Right, and it turns out that it was a little under that, but hey, you know what? Not a whole lot of people are seeing movies this year so far.
Yeah.
Black Panther will hopefully start the year off right next weekend. But yeah, $38.5 million for 50 Shades. Solid second place goes to Peter Rabbit, as I predicted it would, with $25 million in its debut. The 1517 to Paris, as you mentioned, comes in at $12 million for number 3. Number 4 is Jumanji, and His Greatest Showman wraps up your top 5 at number 5.
Yes. Side note for Greatest Showman, it actually topped the UK box office this past weekend.
That is also true. Coming soon this weekend, you've got Black Panther, of course.
That's why.
Your big movie.
Okay.
So get ready.
So, not only is it coming out this weekend, but apparently it's also President's Day weekend.
Yes, also.
So, it gets a 4-day weekend bump, which is what we're going to go off of.
Okay. That works for me. And then also, your counter-programming to Black Panther is Early Man, the Aardman, I almost said claymation, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
Stop motion
There you go.
movie from Aardman, masters of the art form.
Right. Basically, the creators of Chicken Run and
Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit and
Favorites.
Shaun of the Sheep. You know, British stop motion movie.
So look forward to that, and then also something called Samson. What's Samson?
So I saw a poster of Samson last weekend when I went to the
About
movies.
the Bible guy with the hair?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that it was coming out this weekend.
This weekend.
Because I hadn't seen any trailers for it. I just saw the one poster thinking, huh.
So
When
put
did
out
that
to
come
die this weekend, Samson.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably for counter programming for all the people who
So
have like a weird stick up them about Black Panther, which I'm sure they're out there knowing the internet.
Yep. So let me just tell you the story of Samson. Samson was ridiculously strong because of his ridiculously long hair.
Right.
The hair got cut off.
Cut his hair, he loses his strongness.
Well, no. A woman
Right.
cut his hair, and so
Yeah.
he lost his power.
Right.
So blame women.
Oh, is that where this is going?
Yeah.
So go see this if you're a terrible internet person.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
If you want to hate women and praise the white guy, go see this. Go see Samson.
Ugh. Or if you want to see a good movie, Black Panther in theaters this weekend.
Yes, apparently Black Panther is getting rave
Yeah.
reviews. 98 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. It's true. It's
It's
happening.
being hailed as the best Marvel movie to date, which is coming off of Thor Ragnarok, which was fantastic, and it's the only Marvel movie you're going to get before Infinity War comes out in May.
It's true.
So there's a lot on this film, and it's trending like crazy.
Yeah.
I just quickly looked up a box office prediction for
Okay.
the 4-day weekend.
What we're looking at.
165 million by the Hollywood Reporter.
That's a huge jump from this week.
It is. I have a feeling Olympics will play into that though, because when I was trying to think of a 30-day number for this, I kind of put it at 88
Yeah.
in my head.
Or, we could just round all the way up and just say, how about 100?
Yeah, but this thing's tracking for 125 easily.
Wow. Okay. Oh, what are you going to do? 100, 120?
See, Disney expects this to hit between 75 and 115.
Yeah.
So
Which
I'm
means
fine.
100 is safe, I think.
I'm fine putting this at 115 then, on the high side.
115?
Because it is a Marvel movie and it is something that people have been looking forward to.
Okay, over under.
At 115, the safe bet's over, but I feel because it's a 4-day weekend. Even with the Olympics running, I have a feeling that people will still find time to go see it.
Okay. So you're going over?
Yeah.
All right. I was going to take under anyways.
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be closer to 100 than these predictions are saying.
See, yeah, but it's Marvel and it's getting great reviews. And the
It's
Thursday
the
showings.
dead season.
Yeah, but the Thursday showings are already sold out, and I just looked that up too.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out next weekend, but needless to say, it'll be your number one movie next
Oh,
week.
this will be easily be the
With
number one movie.
Flying Colors. Moving in to movie news.
Yes.
Our first story is about one of this past weekend's new releases, Peter Rabbit. Ridiculous CG kids movie.
Why
about-
is this made like this
Peter
instead of being
Rabbit.
a completely animated movie? Yes.
Yeah, very strange idea. But yeah, Sony Pictures is kind of in some hot water over this movie. Maybe some carrots are put in the hot water with it to steam it.
Well, it's stewing right now.
It's stewing. It's very stewing. About allergies. Specifically, a scene in the movie in which a character, Mr. McGregor, the villain, I guess you could say,
Well, yes.
Sort of.
So yeah, Mr. McGregor is considered the villain, I guess. you could
who
say.
is allergic to blackberries, is forced to use an EpiPen in a cartoonish slapstick fight against the titular rabbit and his friends. So, this is a kind of a comedy staple. Variations of this bit have been done in movies before. However, the charity group Kids with Food Allergies wrote an open letter to Sony that allergy jokes are harmful and making light of the condition, quote, encourages the public not to take the risk of allergic reactions seriously. So, this caused Sony to issue an apology for the scene, basically saying that they would they regret not being more sensitive to the issue and that they will pay better attention next time.
Right, because there's a difference between like physical slapstick comedy, like stepping on a hoe, and something that can literally kill someone in terms of an allergic reaction.
Yeah, I think, like I said, there's been variations of this scene in movies before.
There's also been in TV as well.
Yeah, but I think
like a Broad City where they have the shellfish.
Yeah, there's ways to do it where it's like, okay, this is ridiculous and over the top. I have not seen this scene in Peter Rabbit.
No, neither have I.
So I'm like kind of like I'm on the fence here. I don't know like how it's depicted in the film.
Right.
So I can't necessarily say that it should not be in the film.
We're not poo-pooing Sony either, but it's something that, you know,
I guess
maybe you should take into consideration.
Yeah, it's something to think about. I'm not going to take either side here. I'm not going to be like, oh, it should take a joke, or I'm not going to be like, oh, how dare they. I'm kind of like in the middle here, where I'm just like, you know what, I think it's a case-by-case basis for this kind of thing.
Well, I think because this is aimed for kids and they are very impressionable, that's why the open letter was written.
I mean, really, EpiPens are so expensive now, thanks Martin Shkreli, that I don't know if they should be wasted in that way.
Right.
Anyways, moving on to our next story, something a little bit
Let's get a little bit lighter.
Better.
Let's get a little lighter.
The WGA Awards, that would be the Writers Guild Awards, happened. Those are when the writers of both film, television, and even video games get recognized for their craft.
Right. So, for those of you that don't know, the WGA is actually split into the East and West.
Yeah.
Determining which coast you live on.
West Side Story snap battles whenever they meet up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, these happened to start your big winners of the year. Call Me by Your Name and Get Out for film won top honors here. Yep. Jordan Peele won for original screenplay, while James Ivory won for adapted screenplay for Call Me by Your Name.
Right, and both are nominated for the Academy Award as well, which gives them a huge bump in terms of winning.
Sure does. Brett Morgan wins documentary screenplay for the movie Jane.
I believe that is about Jane Goodall, if I remember correctly.
Right. In television, Handmaid's Tale won drama series and new series. I guess this is the first year it was eligible.
Yes.
Vol Veep wins for comedy series because of course it does.
Right, because no one else watches any other comedies apparently.
I guess not. Last Week Tonight won for comedy talk series. And Saturday Night Live won for comedy sketch series, which gets its own category, which is nice.
Yeah, nice they split those two up.
So SNL against nothing. Like what else? IFC's Baroness Von Sketch Show. Like I think that's the only
Portlandia.
Oh yeah, the very last season of Portlandia. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
In other awards, BoJack Horseman won for animated series. Will won.
Yes.
I think. And Horizon Zero Dawn wins for video game.
Yeah, which is
What?
Yeah.
In a year where I don't know,
Breath
I feel
of
like
the
there's
Wild?
Competition. No, Breath of the Wild is not.
It's not a story
nominated
driven
for its writing. I'm thinking more in a year of Wolfenstein and a year of
Nier.
Frickin' Night in the frickin' Woods.
You're all about Night in the Woods.
I'm all about Night in the Woods. I mean, I think that this is. I think that I'd be sure that there's good writing in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Well, you haven't finished it, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good story.
Ancillary stuff like the pickups that kind of give more background to the world and kind of backstory. Yeah, I could see them being like, okay, there's so much here, and there's so much work that they did. We should honor it.
Right.
So I'm not mad. I'm just saying that it's not my preference. But yeah, that's your WGA awards.
Yep. So congratulations to those winners, and good luck trying to win next year.
Good luck. Moving on. 20th Century Fox has moved around some things on its calendar.
Yeah, they got some shuffling going on over there.
So everybody's shuffling, but specifically Fox. First up, Alita Battle Angel, which is based on an anime, I believe.
Yes, this is the trailer that you saw.
Yeah.
That had the ridiculously big cartoon eyes, and
Right.
for some reason they didn't just cast Amanda Seyfried in that role.
Ha ha! See what you did there. Moves from July 20th release date to December 21st, which puts it directly up against Aquaman, Bumblebee, and Holmes and Watson.
Yes.
So do you think this is putting it to death?
Maybe, but this is also James Cameron produced and Rodriguez directed.
So I don't know if this is a vote of confidence or a vote of no confidence.
Right, because James Cameron likes that December release date.
Yeah, he does.
So I don't know if this is just him saying, we need more time to work on the effects, so let's push it back. Or if this is just the studios saying, we don't trust this movie, so let's put it back here.
I don't know.
Which I think if
scared.
Well, I think if they didn't trust it, they would put it in January.
Maybe.
Instead of a Christmas release.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. But
also moving.
It's just, well, that budget is also very high, so that may also be why they put it there. Because people are going to go to the movies anyways. So,
that cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be right. Also moving, Shane Black's The Predator.
Oh, if you didn't know this movie was coming out, it's coming out.
The Predator.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Predator.
Or Predators.
Or Predators. Or Aliens vs. Predator.
Right.
Is this even a Predator movie? Is it that Predator?
Yes, it is that Predator.
Okay. All right, so Shane Black is writing a Predator movie. Is he directing as well?
Yes, he is directing as well.
All right, that moves from August 3rd, just a month over, to September 14th.
Right.
But it will be against the recently moved Alpha and Fighting with My Family.
I have no idea what that second movie is.
Sounds like a comedy, if I was to guess.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Tyler Perry movie.
Paul Rudd. I don't know. Before you said, I was trying to get that in before you said anything, but no.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Tyler Perry. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Tyler
Alpha.
Perry's Fighting for Your Family.
Maybe, but yeah, or Chris Rock.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Tyler Perry's Chris Rock in.
Yeah. But that Alpha movie is the ancient film. Not ancient film, but
it's old.
The set in ancient times. Man meets wolf.
Man and Dog.
Yeah, Man and Dog.
The first dog movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yes, that's Alpha.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's gonna see Alpha. I don't know who that movie is for.
Dog people.
Even for dog people. Like, I'm a dog person. I don't even want to see that movie.
Okay, well, we'll find out. Taking its place in August will be The Darkest Minds, featuring Gwendolyn Christie and Mandy Moore.
Yes, that Mandy Moore.
That Mandy Moore.
Yes, they swapped positions with
right.
the other.
So that will be August 3rd. Kenneth Branagh will return as Detective Hercule Poirot. Poirot?
Yes, Poirot.
Poirot?
It's French.
Yeah. In Death on the Nile, which is the, I guess, sequel to Murder on the Orient Express.
Correct.
On November 8th, 2019.
Right. Next year.
Almost 2 years after Orient Express. It will go up against Bond 25 when it's scheduled to release.
Right. Should it meet that date?
Yes, should it. And Noel, which I don't know what Noel is.
I don't know what it is. It's just penciled in there.
It's the first one, from what I understand. No, it's like the name Noel, not Noel like Christmas.
Right.
Lastly, Blue Sky Studios, the Ice Age guys, have taken March 5th, 2021 for the animated film Foster. But not much is known about this title yet. Here's my guess.
Foster chickens?
No, I was going to make a Foster beer joke. I was going to say it's either about Australian beer or it's about Broadway actress Sutton Foster.
Or it's about the foster chickens.
Or
it's about adoption.
Foster child.
Foster child.
Foster child. Or it's about none of those things. And it could literally be about anything.
Or a dog called Foster or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
It's Blue Sky Studios, so it could literally be anything.
We'll find out in 3 years.
God, 3 years.
Next
3 years.
Next story,
All
Extinction.
Right. Yes, last story.
2 months after Universal has pulled Extinction off of its release schedule, Netflix picked it up. Mm-hmm. The film stars Michael Pena and Liz Kaplan. I think you mean Lizzie.
Lizzie. It's Lizzie.
You have a T there?
I don't know why I put a T there.
Husband and wife. Pena has a recurring nightmare of losing his family, but that becomes a reality when the planet is invaded by a force bent on destruction. Fighting for their lives, he comes to realize an unknown strength to keep his family safe from harm. Ben Young, director of Hounds of Love, directs this film from a script by Spencer Cohen and Bradley Caleb Kane, who I guess wrote for Fringe.
Yes.
So, yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael Pena, but you're not a leading man.
So, yeah, that will be a streaming.
I could definitely see why Universal pulled this thing.
Following up on our story last year about Netflix trying to get into debuting movies on streaming instead of the production studios going with proper studios.
Right, proper release schedule
channels.
Distributions.
So,
But
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, so it's by second-time director Ben Young. He directed a couple TV shows, and the one you said, The Hound of Love, was his first debut, directorial debut for feature length.
Got it.
Cohen, this is his first script, and then the other guy was, like you said, was TV writer.
Worked on Fringe.
Right, TV writer.
Okay.
So, definitely sounds like Netflix, especially with the vein of Cloverfield Paradox that just premiered.
Yeah, that's true. So it was, get ready to see that trend continuing. And that does it for movies.
Yeah.
So, television, we will make this easy here. Pretty much all we've been watching is Olympics. So we're going to roll right into talking about the Olympics.
Well, let's start with sports. We have a couple sports stories
I guess there's some
first.
cleanup for sports here.
Yeah, before we get to Olympics.
We get to Winter Olympics. But we definitely want to talk about those.
Yes, so let's clear up some sports stories first.
All right. So, in other sports, what do we have here?
Let's see.
I don't think you have any of the other sports written down.
I should.
Oh, pitchers and catchers report for spring training today.
Yep.
With everyone else reporting next week. So, baseball players, get ready to watch your dudes warm up.
Yep. There's the trade deadline for NHL is fast approaching in 2 weeks. And this weekend is the NBA All-Star Game.
Okay, where is that taking place this year?
Los Angeles.
Oh, right here.
Yes. So if I just looked up tickets, if you have $1,200 to spend,
hey, I definitely.
Those are for good seats. I mean, if you want like cheap, the cheapest I found right now on StubHub were $350, and that's like at the top of Staples Center.
That's disgusting.
For the All-Star Game. And then, so prepare for some awesome dunks, the three-point contest, skills competition, and then the NBA No Defense All-Star Game this weekend. Counter-programming to the Olympics. I believe that will air on ABC instead of ESPN, I believe. Also, there's a Celebrity All-Star Game if anyone cares about that. I don't know who the celebrities are. I think last year Kevin Hart won the MVP for that. Somehow, even though he's short.
Not that Kevin Hart.
Yes, that Kevin Hart.
Oh, really? That Kevin Hart?
Yeah, the celebrity All-Star Game.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That Kevin Hart.
Even Kevin Hart.
Yes. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah,
so
baseball gets started, and then...
Yeah, then we gotta talk about the big thing.
All right,
so the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea have begun. Opening ceremonies were last Friday. A big bombastic explosion of fireworks and sparklers and drums and
drones,
K-pop and drones, sponsored by Intel.
Yes.
It was ridiculous. It was over the top. But like I told you, the whole time, all I could think about is how crazy is Japan gonna be?
Yes. The USA, of course, walked into Psy's Gangnam Style playing.
Yeah.
And Americans, being American, decided to dance to the Gangnam Style.
You know, as you do.
Yes.
But yeah, so far, the Olympics have been quite entertaining. We've watched a handful of Americans already get gold, mostly in snowboarding. It seems like their breakout sport this year is definitely snowboarding with the U.S. players. Tonight, about just a mere hour ago or so, Shaun White, famous snowboarder, has taken home his third gold, this time for halfpipe. So that's the third time he's earned the gold medal
Yes.
in the Olympics.
He-
The last time was two Winter Olympics ago.
Right. He landed a 97
Yeah.
score to win that gold.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, he landed 98 in qualifying.
Yeah. So it was an insane thing to watch. Half pipe was super entertaining. Men's slope style also was determined. A 17-year-old kid named what's his last name?
Gerard.
Red Gerard ended up taking gold there, beating his much older competitors there, and just
Yes.
owning it. Just did an amazing job.
Right.
Women also represented.
Yes.
Yeah.
The golden girl of these Olympics that everyone is
Yes.
already coined.
Chloe Kim.
Yes.
Chloe Kim was the half pipe master for the women, and she took home the gold for that.
Right. At the mere age of 17.
Yeah.
You heard that right. Someone born this millennia
17.
has won gold.
Yep.
She is one of the youngest competitors for the Olympics.
Probably time to mention that Red Gerard is 18, so they're both
yes.
pretty freaking young.
Yes.
Shaun White, however, is 31. to make me feel a little better about myself.
Yes, but he is still schooling all these young kids.
Seriously. Lastly, there was another gold medalist, but it came with some controversy. Do you want to talk about this? Because you knew more about the question mark than I did about the win.
So this was a downhill slalom.
Yeah. Jamie Anderson. This was a skiing event, downhill slalom.
Yes. She did her run. Oh no, this wasn't slalom. This was
downhill something.
Yes, it was grinds and flips and stuff.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, tricks and stuff, whatever.
Tricks and stuff. Tricks are for kids.
Yes.
But yeah, Jamie Anderson went.
She hit gold, or she hit the top score with 3 runners left. One of those runners stopped halfway because the wind literally blew her backwards.
Yeah.
So she was able to go off a jump, meaning that the judges, meanwhile, had to determine if, because the wind was severe enough and stopped her literally in her tracks, if she was able to run again. However, because the remaining competitors did run and they all faced the same conditions, that on top of Jamie Anderson doing her final run, basically closing out everything before the judges could make their decision, secured the current gold medalist for the World Games. Didn't get that opportunity to run again, because she stopped. They determined that was her run and scored her based on that instead of allowing her to run again.
So whether or not that any of that actually matters is kind of up in the air.
Right.
I'm sure that country probably wishes that they had another chance, but realistically, it wasn't likely that they were going to beat Jamie's score.
Right, because even if she did run, she would have to hit a high 90s to win.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the current gold world medalist.
Right.
But to hit that in those conditions, would have been tough on its own.
So yeah, regardless, that means 4 golds so far for the United States. We also watched some events where they have not gotten close to gold. We watched some curling.
Yes,
we watched
curling,
biathlon.
The Hamiltons, the Pepsi truck driver Hamilton.
Yes, those super entertaining to watch. We have yet to do the teams for curling, so that'll be later.
Right, the men's team and the women's team. Women's hockey.
Yes.
Will face Canada.
Start.
Yes, they will face Canada for the end of group play. Both teams are tied in points at 6 apiece, meaning that whoever wins will get the top spot, and and whoever loses is still guaranteed to move on.
And there's plenty of figure skating going on. There was the team competition that opened the games, and right now we're in pairs. And so far the Americans are not doing great in either. I think we didn't even medal in team.
No, we got third in team. We got bronze.
We got bronze in team. But yeah, pairs, it looks like we're probably not going to medal.
Right. The big ones to look forward to
individual
is the individual.
Will be the ones to watch.
Yes, with Nathan, with the quadruple master.
Yes.
Nathan Chen.
Oh yeah, speaking of
and the triple axel.
Yeah, speaking
queen,
of axles, we should talk about what's her name?
Mariah.
Marianne?
No, it's Mariah. Something.
Mariah something. But yeah, she made Olympic history by nailing a triple axel, which I guess a woman hadn't done.
No, it had not been done since Tanya Harding.
Oh, so it's just been a long
time. At the Olympics, yes. And she did it back in 1988.
So yeah, it's been like 30 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, not bad. We'll definitely keep you up to date. We'll be keeping watching this. So next week we'll let you know all the crazy Olympic events that have happened since. We'll keep you posted.
Right.
But
I believe current medal leader is Norway.
As always.
Followed by Canada.
Because they always are.
Right.
But yeah. But moving on to an Olympic-related story.
Oh, yeah.
Before we move out of the Olympics.
Yes.
So NBC, after the airing of the opening ceremonies, had to cut ties with one of their analysts. During the opening ceremony, there was a bit where they were talking about the relationship between Korea.
Yeah, the Korean Peninsula.
And Japan.
Right. This was as Japan was walking out.
Yes, Japan was coming out. I want to note here, you don't have this noted here.
Okay.
But I was watching this,
right.
And I know the context for the conversation.
All right.
They did open it by noting the occupation.
Okay.
As you might not know, unless you're a huge history guy,
James.
Japan ruled Korea back in the 1910 to 1945 for a period. It was under Japanese rule. It was not of course, welcomed thing.
No, it was an imperialism rule of a bloody occupation of the peninsula.
Not great. Koreans, not a fan. I guess is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
So there's always been kind of cultural tension between the two nations. They did mention this analyst and his partner, whoever else was doing it. I remember they mentioned that first.
Mm-hmm.
But analyst Joshua Cooper Ramo, who we're speaking of here, followed that up by saying, every Korean will tell you that Japan is a cultural, technological, and economic example that has been so important to their own transformation. As if trying to spin basically like the dark part of that story into, yes, but in recent years, they've been able to look to Japan as an inspiration, is essentially what I think he was trying to say.
Yes, he was trying to say that because Japan has grown as a technological power in recent years, so has Korea, because Samsung is based in South Korea.
I see where he's coming from, but the problem here is by making it look like the Koreans were doing those things because Japan was, which is not necessarily the cause. Mm-hmm. And so, needless to say, South Koreans are not super happy with that. And so, after some uproar, NBC had to fire the analyst. He was supposed to commentate during several sports later on down the line, but will not be able to, as he's been let go from the network.
Yes, it is of note that NBC still aired this comment 14 hours after.
Definitely heard it.
Yes, 14 hours after
Even on the second showing, when they showed it at 8.
Right. It wasn't until the next day that they got all this uproar from South Korea.
Like I said, I think it's tricky because I know what he was trying to say.
Right.
And I don't think he meant any ill will towards it. I frankly don't think he should have lost his job for that. There's way worse things he could have said.
Yes.
I think this was an innocent mistake that he didn't know he was making. That being said, obviously NBC has the right to do that, so whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. This is a tricky one because
yes, but here's the other
intercountry relations is kind of the whole thing about the Olympics, and you can easily screw up.
Yes. Here's the other thing about this guy. He's also on the board of directors for Starbucks and FedEx.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, so he's not. This isn't like too damaging for him.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No.
All right, so that's finally we're moving out of the Olympics to something very, very opposite: cartoons.
Cartoons.
One of the prime entrepreneurs, I guess you could say, of the cartoon world over the last 20 years has been Butch Hartman. He was the creator of Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. and has worked in cartoons probably since like the early 90s, I want to say. So
Yes,
20 plus years in the industry. I've seen his credit on all sorts of things.
Yes, he started working with Hanna-Barbera.
Yes.
Before getting his own shot at Nickelodeon's
Right.
Cartoons, I think.
So yeah, that happens. That happened because he worked on the similar show on Cartoon Network before that. That was run by Hanna-Barbera.
Right.
That birthed Dexter's Laboratory and Powerpuff Girls. He worked on that show first.
Right.
Butch Hartman even has a credit on that same series' short that was designed by none other than Seth MacFarlane, which ended up kind of morphing into Family Guy down the line. So yeah, Butch Hartman's been doing a lot of stuff in this industry for a long time, but he's chosen Nickelodeon as a home for the last 20 years, but that will no longer be the case. After 20 years working at the network, he has decided to leave Nickelodeon for good. He started in 1997.
Breaking news, Michael Phelps had another kid.
Yep, surprise, surprise.
Yep, Beckett Richard Phelps.
There you go.
Future swimmer.
Yeah, probably. Anyways. Starting in 1997 with Fairly Odd Parents early production work. That show didn't debut until 2000, I want to say.
Right, well, because it was a part of the Oh Yeah Cartoons feature, to which it was like a feature.
Yeah.
And then...
It was a short and then got picked up.
Yeah, it got picked up. Yeah, it got picked up for 6 episodes, but those 6 episodes were constantly on repeat that they garnered so much fans that they ordered a full season for Fairly Odd Parents.
So yeah, and then since then developed 3 other shows for the network. So Fairly Odd Parents,
Danny Phantom, Tough
Puppy.
Yes, and most
something else.
Yes, it aired like 2 years ago, but only had 1 season.
I dropped off after Danny Phantom. I was just like, I don't like this at all.
Wait, you didn't like Danny Phantom?
I hated it.
I love Danny Phantom.
Okay. I felt like I feel like I'm too old for this.
Well, yes, at the end of Danny... I don't think I ever finished Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
But yeah, right around like halfway through it, that's when I also fell off from the Nickelodeon.
I didn't get it. But yeah, he will now focus his efforts on the newly minted Goop app.
Yes.
Which is a terrible name for an app.
It is, but it is for cartoons.
That's cool.
Yes, it's only for cartoons, on new animators and such.
Okay. As well as publishing books. He will be doing some book work.
Mm-hmm.
He's also contracted with a company that we mentioned here on this very podcast before, called Pocket Watch.
Right.
With a new cartoon that will debut on there, as well as working on his podcast Speech Bubble, which is for animators.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. So good for Butch Hartman. He seems like a real cool guy, and he seems like he knows animation. So.
Yes. He actually had a daughter back in December of 1997 when he first started Nickelodeon. So his daughter is as old as Fairly Odd Parents.
I remember we watched that one YouTube video of him where he was like trying to draw Pokemon.
Yes.
by what they were named, and it was hilarious because he had no idea.
You're right.
That was pretty funny. So yeah, good guy. All power to him as he moves on to his new endeavors. Next up, Hulu.
Hulu is in trouble.
17. Hulu lost $920 million compared to just a $531 million loss the previous year. They reported earlier that they expected to spend $2.5 billion on content in 2017, so that's actually kind of less. Hulu has reported more than 17 million subscribers for its on-demand and live TV packages. According to estimates, Hulu's losses will climb 80% in 2018 to ultimately a $1.7 billion loss, whereas the parent companies will invest an additional $1.5 billion in the venture to keep it breathing.
Right. These parent companies we're talking about are the 3 big ones plus CW.
Yes.
That's NBC, Viacom, and Disney.
Yes. Now, of course, this is all kind of interesting.
I'm sorry, not Viacom, Fox.
Fox.
Yes.
Fox has the other piece.
Viacom
stayed out.
Right, Viacom.
That was the whole thing.
Right, because Viacom has ABC Access.
All their eggs in the
CBS
All
Access.
basket.
Yes, All Access.
But yeah, you're right. Of course, this might be null and void, as we talked about, as early as next year. We could be talking about a Disney takeover of this thing.
Right. Disney would then own 60%.
Yeah.
but they are still scheduled to launch their app, their very own Disney Channel app, at the end of 2019, which is next year.
So yeah, anything can happen. So we'll see.
Yep.
So yeah, next up, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is a show I liked the first couple seasons of. I kind of dropped off the third season. I need to catch up at some point.
Right. Well, it's because it's on. We don't get CW.
Yeah, but it definitely is a show with its fans. People love this show, and guess what? They're taking the show on the road.
Boom.
The entire cast is going on a tour, a live tour. It's beginning March 31st for an 8 stops in 8 cities. Tickets go on sale tomorrow for stops in Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and, of course, Los Angeles. Over the course of 44 episodes, the show had featured over 100 original songs. That's kind of its thing. It's a musical show. They write original songs. Every single episode is packed with 2 or 3 of them. And so now fans will get to see up close the performing of these songs, led by, of course, star Rachel Bloom.
Right, but there's a catch.
Unfortunately, as these tours go, not all cast members will be available at all shows. So check your local venue website for details, which means they'll have to have understudies for these dudes. So yeah, you might not go and see, Josh Chan be actual Josh Chan. Or you might not see, what's his name, Mustache Dude. Or,
yes.
Paul,
but yes, Rachel Bloom is expected to
Rachel
do
Bloom will
all
do everything because you have to have her.
Right, she is the creator and showrunner and star of that show.
And writes all the songs.
Yes.
So yeah, needless to say, if you like this show, go check out, and you live by near one of these major cities, go check it out, buy some tickets, have some fun. It'll probably be a lot of fun. A lot of those songs from that show are hilarious. I hope they do Santa Ana Wins.
That is my favorite of all of them.
That one's great.
Yes.
Moving on.
Oh, and lastly,
Lastly.
in news that happened literally a couple hours ago.
Okay.
I mentioned this to you real briefly. But Netflix decided to pick up showrunner, not Brian Fuller, the other guy.
But Ryan Murphy.
Yes, Ryan Murphy.
So
for a 5-year, $300 million deal.
Yes, in a move reminiscent of their Ava DuVernay pickup from late last year. Netflix has taken a big player in TV away from television. So this potentially means that Ryan Murphy will start making his series, including anthology series American Horror Story and American Crime Story, most lucrative, to Netflix instead of FX, moving off of cable onto streaming. So this pretty much locks him up.
Yep. Oh, you're thinking of Shonda Rhimes, too.
Shonda Rhimes, sorry. Not
yes.
Ava DuVernay. I was thinking the wrong one.
Right. Ava DuVernay is the director.
Right. Yes, Shonda Rhimes. Locked her up.
Yep.
But yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Especially seeing as...
That means he's cutting ties with 20th Century Fox.
Correct.
Which could... That deal with Disney is still technically on.
Yeah, I wonder if this was a preliminary thing, we don't want Disney to have this kind of move by Netflix.
Or it's, I don't know where I would fit in a Disney world, because this stuff is kind of very R-rated.
Yes, but Disney also gets around that in all sorts of ways and always has. So that's the common misconception is like, oh, well, so this should such be too, like, not family-friendly enough for Disney. It's like, that hasn't been an issue since 1970s. You know, like they've solved that problem with Touchstone,
and then Miramax
period with Miramax when they owned it, and more recently with the rebranding of Freeform.
Right.
It's not ABC Family anymore for a reason, because Freeform allows them to make that channel whatever the hell they want it to be.
Right, because it no longer has the ABC branding in front of it.
So yeah, no, I don't think that that's an issue you have to worry about. I think that this was probably a money thing. They probably offered him enough to leave.
Maybe.
And
I mean, for $300 million, yeah.
But this means that Netflix has potential awards in their future because, as we know, American Crime Story O.J. Simpson was the favorite of the Emmys.
Right. I'm not so much certain about Versace because it is going more into the killer aspect instead of Versace.
Yeah,
and his.
But I think that also it's been doing pretty well critically.
Oh yes,
So
Critics loves this
I
thing.
think you'll still see it show up in award season.
Yes.
But yeah, needless to say, this is a big prestige name, and and there is no surprise that Netflix thought it was a good get. So yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see what happens out of this, but it's nothing but good for Netflix.
Yep.
Now moving on out of television into cancellations and renewals.
Yes. So what bit the dust?
All right. So first up, we have not so much cancellations. We got a couple of renewals here. The Four has been renewed for a second season at Fox.
I think without that producer guy.
Without the producer guy, who has been fired from the show after allegations of sexual assault.
Oh, also, a quick side note.
Yes.
The Four did end this past weekend.
Okay.
The champ was crowned. I didn't watch. I don't know who it is. I just know that it ended.
So if you watch The Four, good for you. Next up, an unexplicable renewal. Tosh.0
Oh, yeah.
has been renewed for 3 more seasons and will air on Comedy Central through 2020. So, good for you, frat boys of America.
You have a YouTube highlight show ready for you.
And lastly, another renewal. In fact, there are no cancellations this week.
Yeah, I think there's only 3 shows this week.
Bosch on Amazon
Yes.
has been renewed for a 5th season ahead of its 4th season debut, which will air on April 13th.
Right. This is the cop show.
Air.
Bosch.
Air. That's not true. It's a streaming channel.
Whatever.
It will be available to you
Yes.
on April 13th. So
Yes.
there you go.
Oh, before we get to it, have we been watching TV?
No, I figured that since we've been watching mostly Olympics,
Yeah.
we didn't really have anything to talk about, so we just moved right
Yeah.
past it.
But for those of you who are interested, that Joel McHale show, the Joel McHale show, premieres this weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Right. Yeah, that premieres on Friday, and then weekly episodes after that.
Yeah, but it just so happens that kind of because of the Olympics, all my shows are off.
Oh yeah, same here.
Because the season ended for the stuff that I was watching, and SNL's not on because of the Olympics for the next few weeks, 2 weeks.
In order to fill time slots, CBS has been running 2-hour shows. It's the usual one. Because I watched The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
They've been doing 2-hour specials the past 2 weeks.
Fun.
Not only to get rid of the episodes, but also because they have nothing else to show.
So there you go.
But yeah, pretty much everything else is off because of the Olympics.
So yeah.
So
not a whole lot of TV to talk about except Olympics.
So So when is Olympics over? The 18th?
It's 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I think.
So end of next week then.
End of next week.
Right.
Yeah.
I think through the it's 8th through the 20th.
Almost to the end of the year, or end
of the month. Yeah.
The year. That'd be really
the 20th. So yeah. So next Tuesday I think would be the end of the Olympics.
So yeah, we'll of course let you know what happens there.
Yep.
Moving on to our final thing in television, even though it's only tangentially related, is deaths.
Yes.
We unfortunately have a handful of deaths for you this week.
Right. All notable too.
First up, Daryl Singletary, age 46, who was an American country music singer. Songs include "I Let Her Lie" and "The Note."
Yes.
I've definitely heard this name before. The Note sounds familiar. I wonder if I...
Yes, he was also a songwriter before he
Heard
was
that.
a singer.
Got it. Also, Jan Maxwell, age 61, who was an actress and singer, starred in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and then, much later, Gossip Girl.
Yes, as not one of the girls, but one of the moms.
That makes sense. Also, Troy Blakely, age 68, music executive and talents manager, managed Sammy Hagar, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Poison.
Yeah.
Reggie.
Reggie.
Reg E. Cathy, age 59, actor, was in The Wire, House of Cards, Fantastic Four, and won an Emmy in 2015.
Yes, he was the black guy who ran the barbecue shop in House of Cards. He was also the dad of Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
In the most recent Fantastic Four.
Got it.
So he's a character actor. You've definitely seen him around. You'd recognize the face.
That sounds like somebody you'd recognize. Lastly, the one I heard about this week, composer Johan Johansson.
Yes, this was the big one that happened this week.
Age 48.
Young.
Composer for Arrival, The Theory of Everything, and Sicario.
Yes, this guy was on the rise.
So yeah, was on the rise. Has made some pretty impressive scores over the last few years. Super big loss in the composing, especially in the film world.
Worked on a lot of synth stuff. So,
yes.
Especially the Theory of Everything. That's a really great soundtrack. I listened to it this past weekend.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to some great synths, check that out.
Yeah. The film world and the music world will be less without him. Moving on.
And lastly, the creator of Machinima died. I think it was Machinima or IGN.
Oh.
It was one of the gaming websites.
Huh.
He died.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. The CEO. I forget his name. I know I should have wrote it down, but I forgot to look it up.
I don't know.
But yeah, he also passed away this past week.
All right. Well,
let's move
next
on.
up is music.
Yes. Speaking of Johan Johansson.
What else have you been listening to then? If you've already started talking about it.
Yeah, so I listened to that Theory of Everything because of that guy, because of Johansson. I also listened to MGMT's new album.
Yeah, I heard you listening to that thing.
The Dark Age.
Yeah.
Definitely an MGMT album.
Yeah.
So if you really like them, this is definitely right up your alley. Not my favorite. Nothing was super poppy. Nothing was super catchy for me. But it was decent enough to where I didn't want to turn it off.
Okay. That's a recommendation, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I also listened to the greatest soundtrack.
Greatest Showman.
Yes. No,
the greatest soundtrack.
It is the greatest soundtrack. the Greatest Showman soundtrack. Again, because why not? Because I can.
But yeah, other than that, I didn't listen to. I don't think I listened to anything. So we can get rolling right into Billboard.
Oh, I did listen to the Black Panther soundtrack.
I didn't realize that was out. I thought that was coming out this weekend.
They had a couple songs out on Spotify. I listened to that Kendrick Lamar thing that he did for it.
It's in the trailer too.
Yes. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I know that's a sin in this day and age.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, but it was okay for me. You know, it's Kendrick Lamar rapping for sure. He also says the king a lot in it.
Because
it references the king.
Black Panther literally the king?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think that album drops today or on Friday because of the movie.
I think you're right. I think it's Friday.
Right.
So yeah, look forward to that. Billboard time. Your Hot 100, which is your singles list, is topped once again for the third week by God's Plan by Drake.
Hey, Drake.
Number 2 is Still Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Number 3 is Still Finesse by Bruno Mars and Cardi B. 4 is Still Havana by Camila Cabello featuring Young Thug. And number 5 is Rockstar by Post Malone and 21 Savage again.
Wait, sounds like nothing changed.
Nothing changed from last week, guys.
Did anything drop?
Things got comfortable. Moving on to the Billboard 200, which is your album.
So this should be Man of the Woods.
It is Man of the Woods. Is your number one
Yes.
album, debuting at number 1 with a bullet. Dropping down to number 2 is Culture 2 by Amigos. Number 3 is The Greatest Showman soundtrack. Number 4 is Divide by Ed Sheeran. And number 5, 24 Karat Magic.
So everything just drops because Justin Timberlake can finally chart. But don't expect him to stay up there.
He definitely charted.
Yes, he definitely will not stay up there, though.
All right, moving into new releases.
Yes.
Coming up this week, a new album by Belle and Sebastian called How to Solve Our Human Problems. New album from Born Ruffians, Uncle Duke and the Chief. Haven't heard a song by the Born Ruffians since 2009. A new album by Brandy Carlisle. By the way, I Forgive You. Escape the Fate brings you I Am Human. Marion Williams has Make Way for Love. Ought with Room Inside the World. I'll probably check that out. I like Ought. Pianos Become Teeth. Wait for Love. That's a good name.
That's a good name.
Senses Fall has If There Is Light, It Will Find You. Wow. Ancient punk band Superchunk has an album, What a Time to Be Alive.
Especially if you're Superchunk for making an
The
album.
only thing I know about Superchunk is that Sonic Youth mentioned them in a song that was written in 1994. So they've been around for a while. Taiga brings you Kyoto. U.S. Girls, which I've heard of as well, in a Poem Unlimited. Wild Beasts with last night, all my dreams come true. Live.
Yes, a live album.
Live album.
Live album.
That's it for new releases.
All right, so let's talk about some news then.
Moving on to some future releases here. If you want to be my lover, you have to get with my friends. And my friends are the Spice Girls. Well, not really, but I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
The Spice Girls are getting back together. Yes.
You heard that right.
20 years later, officially doing a reunion tour. The group recently reunited with manager Simon Fuller.
Yes, that's Simon Fuller from American Idol.
To begin planning their world tour, which will kick off in late summer and include stops in the UK and in the US. So, if you want to see some Spice Girls action with, let's see, Victoria Beckham,
You're trying to get names or
yeah,
spices?
I'm trying to remember their names.
Good luck.
Mel B and Mel C.
Okay.
And the others.
And the others.
I don't know.
And the other two.
I don't know what Baby's name is.
Baby and Scary?
Yeah, I don't know who Scary's name is.
Yes. Apparently this tour was supposed to happen last year when they met, but Victoria Beckham was the holdout.
Right. But now she's got nothing else to do, so why not?
Yes, I think her kids are finally grown enough to where she needs the money because David Beckham's retired or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, either way. Yeah, so get your Spice Girls tickets.
Get them while they're hot.
What year
While
is
they're
it
spicy.
again?
What?
What year is it again?
I have no idea anymore. Moving on to something else old. Coming back. The Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes. This is an interesting story.
Yeah, this has some wrinkles to it.
Yeah.
There's a suspicious clock on the website for the Smashing Pumpkins counting down to this Thursday, when they are all but expected to announce a reunion tour, which everybody kind of expected. Billy Corgan, the crazy,
bassist
wrestling promoter now.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing a wrestling thing for a while, and he showed up on InfoWars, I guess, recently to talk to Alex Jones about something. He's just I don't know what's going on with Billy Corgan.
He's got something in his head, and
yeah,
he's got to get it out.
Gotta get it out. He recently shared a photo with the band's original guitarist James Iha and drummer Jimmy Chamberlain. However, one of these people is missing. Who's missing? Of course,
Darcy
Retzky, who was a bassist, I believe,
yes.
in the original lineup.
Yeah, she was the bassist.
Between her and Corgan, they had exchanged messages about whether or not she would be included in the reunion. Later, Corgan revealed that the band had already recorded 26 songs together without her, and misled her about his intentions of getting together to record one song before the tour. Yeah, this is there's a he said, she said thing going on right now. Corgan's come out and basically been like, oh, well, we told her, she could have joined us and all this stuff. But then Darcy's out there actually showing actual text messages between her and Billy Corgan, basically be like, yeah, no, I was never invited.
See, his timeline doesn't match up with what he says.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Chances are she's probably right here. Yeah, he probably didn't invite her for some bad blood or whatever.
Aren't they the reason they broke up in the first place?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong person. I only tangentially like the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm very hot and cold with them.
Okay.
There's some singles I like off of the first couple albums that I'm like, yeah, that's fun.
I mean, the ones that everyone likes?
1979, is a good song.
Yeah.
I like Cherub Rock. There's some good stuff early on there. But man, just Billy Corgan just everything he's done since has just been really turned me off.
Bad taste.
Of all of that stuff. And so yeah, it's hard for me to get into them. So yeah, I don't know enough about why they broke up. And they had reunited in the past too. I think around 2005 they did a reunion album and stuff. So they're not foreign to this concept.
Right.
It just sucks that if you're getting the original band back together, you're missing a member of the original band. Just saying. Moving on. From the Smashing Pumpkins to smashing ticket sales, Google is cracking down with new rules on ticket resale websites. They will now require all websites to make clear that they are second-hand ticket sellers and not first-hand. Any secondary site advertising on Google now has to carry a disclaimer at the top of its page saying that they aren't the primary seller of those tickets. This is good.
They have to say resell on any advertisement that
Yes.
they run for Google.
Google spokesperson Jennifer Kaiser said, "We felt like we needed to do more to make sure the advertising of secondary ticketing is clear on our platform." Since the announcement, ticket sellers Get Me In, Viagogo, StubHub, and Seatwave have now made the change demanded from them. So that's good. So we already have these resellers kind of getting on board with this new requirement.
Right. It's definitely a good step in the right direction. It's definitely a good thing to see Google taking the lead on this.
Definitely.
So we've talked about ticket resellings like ad nauseum on
And guess what? We're not done.
And no, we're not done because our next story is actually about ticket sellers.
Moving across the pond to the UK. The UK's first ticketing platform to implement real-world blockchain technology. Yes, you heard me right. Blockchain, getting into that cryptocurrency, has launched new BitTickets blockchain technology to fight against secondary ticketing. The new technology will create a wallet feature to store tickets, allowing tickets from any provider to be held in one place. The entire ticket journey can be tracked by promoters from purchase to entry to crack down on illicit sales, I guess.
Yes, this is to crack down on third-party sales, scalpers, and anyone else trying to take advantage of tickets.
That's smart. It also includes identity profiling to spot ticket touts and ticket bots. Blockchain technology has been heralded by some in the music industry as a solution to managing increased volumes and complexity of music rights and usage data in the digital marketplace. But like I said, if that word sounds familiar, it's because cryptocurrency idiots have been saying the word blockchain a lot lately.
Right.
It's technology that's used for all sorts of things, but right now it's basically for Bitcoin.
Right. In shorthand term, it means that you're able to track where each ticket was bought, who had control of each ticket, and how much each ticket had been sold for up until the point that the ticket is actually finally used at the concert venue.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I hope that it's used for good. And that sounds so far like a really good plan, and we'll see if that affects the business enough to make any difference.
Yep.
All right, moving out of music into video games. Now, we have not touched a video game, I don't think, since last week.
I played Madden, and I did download a new thing on my new game on my phone to play in a sense, called Underhand.
Okay, what's Underhand?
I don't know.
You don't know? You've been playing it, but you don't know what it is?
It's a cult card game.
A cult card game?
Yes, where you're the leader of a cult.
Oh, okay.
Not a cult.
I thought you meant like it had a cult following. Like, I was like, all right, okay.
Like you're the leader of a cult.
A cult, okay.
Yes, and it gives you a set deck of cards to play with, and you can get resources and then spend those resources to counteract different stuff like famine, police raids, and also use them to activate special rituals that you have to cycle through the deck several times in order to finally complete the ritual without either getting caught or running out of resources or the police busting you.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit insane. The first couple times I played it, I didn't quite understand it. But about the third time, I was like, okay, finally know all the cards that are in the deck, and so I know what I need to work towards in order to finally complete a ritual. So once I understood that part of the game, it became a little bit easier for me to manage. But it's a challenging game because you quickly run out of resources with this thing.
Yeah.
And trying to determine what card comes next while still being in the game without being knocked out is quite challenging. So if you like card games, pick it up. It's free. It's a free game to play. But I'm not really sucking a whole lot of my time in this thing.
Cool.
But other than that, I did play some more Madden Ultimate Team. I should probably stop because I don't need to upgrade my team anymore. But even post Super Bowl, they still added some fresh content to keep people coming back.
Cool.
So good on EA for keeping stuff fresh.
Keeping it alive.
Yep. I think I'm pretty much done with Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to jump back into it, but I just haven't had time.
Yeah. Oh, and I did finally finish Final Fantasy 15. And I have to say that story is great. That gameplay is amazing, and I kind of want to put it on my list for 2015 when it came out. But
You're back in time.
Yes. We retrack because everything I saw about that game coming out, it looked great, but because it came out at the end of the year, I just wasn't into any new game or Final Fantasy specifically.
Yeah.
But I did get it as a Christmas gift last year, and I finally beat it. Yeah, definitely a good game. If it's on sale at your local GameStop or on the marketplace, pick it up because it's an emotional journey and definitely well worth it. And I didn't realize till the end of the game that Florence and the Machine did the title song for that thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which I thought was cool, which I didn't realize till the very end.
Oh. Yeah, they're known for their theme songs.
Yeah. Well, because it's actually a cover song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is why I didn't really recognize that it was Florence in the first place.
That makes sense. Alright. Well, then let's move on to some games of the moment here. In fact, games that are coming this week.
Yes, new releases.
Slice, Dice, and Rice for the PlayStation 4, which is a great name.
Yes.
Fee, that would be F-E, like iron.
Yes.
For PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Yep.
Metal Gear Survive for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. That would be the first, the multiplayer-focused Metal Gear game post-Kojima, so...
Right. There's also rumor of a Metal Gear anthology collection.
Heard about that, yeah.
But nothing has been confirmed. We'll talk more about that later.
Okie dokie. Fire Emblem Warriors Shadow Dragon for Switch. Zeo Drifter for Switch. Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 make their Switch debut.
Right. This is all on the hot heels of a Bayonetta 3 in the works.
And later in the year.
Yes.
The Station for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Pinball FX3. Jurassic World Pinball.
Yeah.
For PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Right. This is yes, that is ahead of the most recent Jurassic World movie, Fallen Kingdom, which comes out in the summer. I think it's a July release.
Yeah.
Maybe June.
I wouldn't bet on that date. But what I would bet on
what are you betting on?
is electronic gambling.
Oh, okay.
Or not really.
No.
So yeah, well, let's move over to the island state of Hawaii because they've been making some laws.
Yes.
State lawmakers introduced legislation to limit the implementation of electric gambling systems. 4 proposed bills introduced last month target exploitative monetization, including video game loot boxes.
This is specifically video game loot boxes, but just gambling in general, too.
So yeah, House Bill 2686 and Senate Bill 3024 would prohibit the sale of any game featuring a system wherein players can purchase a randomized reward using real money to anyone younger than 21. House Bill 2727 and Senate Bill 3025 would require video game publishers to prominently label games containing such randomized purchase systems, as well as disclose the probability of rates of receiving each loot box reward. More than half of the U.S. states are pursuing some form of loot box oversight legislation. It's happening.
Right. This is, I like to note that this is state government, not federal. So even though we say House bills and Senate bills, those are state House and state Senate. Not actual like U.S. House of Representatives.
So yeah, right now it'll be just basically up to state legislature to determine whether or not they want to play nice with these loot boxes or not. I hope that some of this legislation goes through, though.
I think the gambling in 21 is a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. But the labeling doesn't hurt either. I think prominently labeling your content is good, and labeling odds is good. I mean, anything that helps people know what's in a game, I think, is great. So yeah, I hope other states take note of these Hawaiian bills and try to replicate them in their own legislature.
Right. Side note too, Sweden is still on its own path to knock down these loot crates and gambling, but it's good to see that U.S. states are finally taking charge in this area.
It's true. I'm going to skip the next story because I want to save it for the last because I know you're most excited for it.
Well, we can't really save it for last, but...
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Well, here, let me move this up. Okay, so we'll see it for second to last then.
No, it'll be last.
All right. So let's move in then.
I don't care about the graphics.
All right.
Monster Hunter World, as we were just talking about, setting records.
Yes, Capcom's biggest selling game.
Yeah, Capcom was having a record time, shipping 5 million copies of Monster Hunter World in the first 3 days it was available. And that's just on consoles before the PC release is even out.
Yes, PC will be released within the coming months.
It's currently atop the Microsoft Marketplace, beating out PUBG. And it's also atop the PlayStation Store as well. The game will continue to receive free updates, including new monsters and such, to ensure players will continue to play as long as possible.
Yes. Unfortunately, this does not include us.
No, but yeah, people love that thing.
Yeah, but the fact that the updates will include new monsters that are free and not a part of any like DLC is definitely a step in the right direction for
Cool.
For Monster Hunter World.
It's really cool, and they're doing the right thing with the DLC for that game.
Yeah, and like we said, we're not poo-pooing Monster Hunter World. It's definitely a great game.
It's just not for us.
Yeah, it's just, well, for me, every like monster that I encountered felt like a variation of a dragon or a dinosaur, and it just got very repetitive.
It's kind of all
Even though like each monster was different, they all just kind of blended together for me.
Kind of the whole game, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the game. It's either something you drive with or you don't.
Yep.
Next story. If you don't want that game, well, guess what? Right around the corner is your ticket to all sorts of games. It's E3.
It's E3 is literally around the corner.
So we may only be February, and E3 is traditionally a July thing. But news is already coming out. We are getting information about who will be attending the show thanks to a basic floor plan provided on their website.
Yep.
Companies so far include CD Projekt Red, that's your Witcher folks, Konami, Epic Games, Bethesda, and Square Enix, taking up the biggest floor space next to Sony and Nintendo. Microsoft currently has a smaller booth than last year, going down from a 200 by 100 to only a 75 by 20.
Yeah, that's an interesting play there.
Mm-hmm. Other things to note is Nintendo is reserving a theater, and Konami is reserving a big meeting room.
Yes.
So, 2 things to come out of this. I've been following E3 since I've been, since I was like 8. Okay. So, let me tell you what's weird about these 2 things.
All right, go ahead.
First up, Microsoft downgrading actually makes some sense to me because it follows their company strategy lately, which is it's less about Xbox and it's more about Microsoft.
Right.
I think that they're paring down to prove that point in a way. Also, they might not just have that much to show.
That's the concerning narrative that I have with it.
The narrative behind it, them lately has been like they just don't have exclusives that wouldn't be shown anywhere else. So Crackdown will have to be on this floor, and
Sea of Thieves,
which will be out by then. Sea of Thieves will be released in the next few months.
So they may still have something on the floor to show with that.
So yeah, if they do make but apparently it's not going to be a whole lot, is what it sounds like. So chances are they're going to their show this year will probably showcase a lot of third party. That's the guess I have here.
Right, but that third party still has their own set of stuff to show.
They're going to try to sell
their own booths.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why they don't need their own booth, like a lot of space in their own booth, because the stuff during their show that they'll show off will not be their properties. You'll be able to play them other places. They're going to try to Trojan horse Xbox One X's into all those third-party booths. That's my guess.
Okay.
And that's going to be their big push, is play it on the most powerful console.
So you're saying that instead of having their own booth, they're going to tell everyone to demo it.
They're still going to have their own booth. I'm just saying that it's smaller this year because it makes sense where they're at, like, company-wide.
Right, and they're going to try to make deals with other companies to demo their new game on the Xbox One.
I think so. I think it's going to be, look at these third-party games. They run best here. That's going to be their play. Whether or not it works, we'll find out. Right. As for Nintendo reserving a theater, that's weird.
Right, because normally they just do tree houses.
Yes, they've been doing the last few years doing a stream where they just show direct-to-consumer stuff. I have no idea why they need a theater this year. That's very suspect.
It is a smaller theater. I think I saw only a 400-seat theater, but it's still a theater nonetheless.
Yeah, So we'll have to see. Maybe it's something for like a press thing as opposed to
an actual showcase.
Like a showcase. Maybe it's a game that's not 100% done.
Maybe. There is still rumor about a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
For Switch premiering at E3.
That would be a really smart thing to do. Is to do it in like a theater for like 400 exclusive people or something.
Like an exclusive Pokemon event.
Yeah, like a teaser for Pokemon.
I could see that. Yeah.
I could see them doing that, or Smash Brothers.
Or
I feel like one or the other.
Yeah.
Because both are big deals. So that's a possibility.
So make it an exclusive event. Yeah.
So there's also a third option here.
Metroid.
There's a rumor going around about Metroid last week.
Yes.
About how Namco Bandai might be involved in the production of that game.
Right.
And so if that's leaking right about now, there's also a possibility that might be the big push too.
Right. A new Metroid game in how many years?
A long time. New Metroid Prime game.
Oh yes,
forever.
Metroid Prime.
Metroid, that 3DS game came out last year. So,
okay.
So it hasn't been that long since the Metroid game, but it's been forever since Metroid Prime 3.
All right.
That's 10 years ago.
Oh.
That was a 2007
Eesh.
Wii game.
Oof.
Moving on to our final story here.
Okay. Oh, last thing about E3. Square Enix, for some reason, has the biggest floor space available.
Okay.
I don't know why.
They have a lot of games now.
Yeah.
They're not just...
No, it's big. It's so big that they've actually stretched over the aisle.
Wow. I mean, they don't just have the Japanese stuff anymore.
I know.
It's also like, IDOS and Tomb Raider and, well, I guess not Hitman anymore. But yeah, like there's a bunch of franchises that they own now.
Right.
But yeah, last thing I want to mention about E3 before we drop it is it will again be open to the public, just like last year.
Right.
They will this time be doing an exclusive day or like a day focused on the public. I think it'll be the last day of the show.
Usually it is the last day of the show.
So yeah, tickets will be available shortly, I believe. So keep an eye out for those. They will be exorbitantly expensive.
We will try and get press passes.
That's not happening. Never gonna go. We're not going to E3. Screw that.
What?
Watch it here.
I know we can watch it here.
It's way more accessible that way. Moving on.
Yeah.
To our last story.
All
something that will definitely be at E3 this year.
Oh yes.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
We have new news.
Yes. So this past weekend was D23
in Japan.
Japan D23. And
new trailer dropped
yes.
there this past weekend.
2 new trailers actually dropped.
And it introduced us to the new, I say new in quotes because we kind of leaked and we knew about this.
Yes.
Monsters Incorporated world, which is the second Pixar world after the previously announced Toy Story world. Moreover, we have gameplay of worlds for Twilight Town, Hercules, and Tangled, in addition to the verbal confirmation of the world of Big Hero 6.
Yes.
We also got the new theme song from, of course, Utada Hikaru.
Yes,
she's done the theme song to 1 and 2 as well.
Right.
Called Don't Think Twice.
Yes.
Have you heard it?
I have heard it.
Is it good?
It's a softer version. So
Simple and Clean?
Well, no, Simple and Clean was a rock version. And then Sanctuary was a softer version. This is softer than Sanctuary.
Damn, okay. Going for a different tone.
Yes, going for a more like bleak tone, it feels like. Because this is the final game in this saga.
Right.
So everything will be culminating into a giant showdown.
Yeah. So, finally, new character designs for main characters Riku and Mickey were revealed.
Yes, the first time. So the last shots we got of them were them leaving, carrying a chest, which everyone thought was going to be their new outfits, and so we finally got those designs finally revealed.
Yeah. And little bits left of this story. Rumor seems to be is that the release date, the official release date, will be revealed at E3.
Yes.
And that attendees at this Japanese show have stated that the Gummy Ship will return, but don't worry, in an open world search function and battle phases with combat similar to Star Wars.
The interesting here is that they openly mentioned Star Wars.
Yeah, because it's a Disney property. They can throw that name around now.
Yes. But the fact that it is mentioned does open the door to
no way.
I know there's no
There's
way. But I can dream.
The licensing for that stuff is all sorts of places right now. There would be no ways to do it.
Right. I think EA still has the exclusive.
They don't have
license.
exclusive rights. I think it's a weird. I think that the way that contract is written is weird. It's not exclusive because Disney can still put out mobile games and stuff with Star Wars. It's like a console thing, but not even a console thing. It's maybe console and PC. I don't even know how it's worded, but yeah. Yeah, that's probably elapsing soon, though. So we'll see.
Right. Well, especially with the recently dealings with Battlefront 2.
Clock's ticking on that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does that. Does it for that story. I mean, yeah, you're excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The Internet's been having
good.
a field day with the frickin' Monsters Incorporated Goofy.
Yes.
He looks terrible.
He does. Also, Donald has one eye for some reason.
Yeah.
The Sully character looks weird.
Yeah.
But the good news is that the Toy Story world looks fantastic.
Right.
This game is, of course, still in development. Nothing is final. But some of the new attacks look great. This thing, as they showed off gameplay running through the world, looks huge. It looks great so far. Characters, animations in the cutscenes look fantastic. I am still excited for this game, even though it's been over 10 years since the last one.
Last one. Even though that's not true because they've done a bunch of little games.
Yes.
Interim.
Oh, and I know I didn't put this in the notes, but one of the big reveals in the recent trailer was the inclusion of Dream Eaters, and that's big because that was part of Dream Drop Distance, the Nintendo release,
The 3DS game.
the 3DS release, and the last game before, I guess if you want to count 2.8.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the fact that they're included in this game puts the actual timeline in kind of a weird situation of what is real and then what is considered a dream and what worlds are considered real.
Okay.
This is, of course, very like deep Kingdom Hearts talk here.
Yeah.
But it's all very speculation at this point because literally they can do anything with that story.
You know, I taught my drowsy Dream Eater. Sorry. All right.
Yes, I always hate battling the Haunter and he throws Dream Eater at me.
Dream Eater, man. That does it for video games, and that means that does it for the Media Boat podcast.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap all this up.
So let's wrap us up with some plugs. We're like a power outlet here. We got so many plugs.
Yep.
We are all the time streaming, but mostly on usually Wednesday nights. This is a weird one on Tuesday because tomorrow's Valentine's. But you can usually catch us on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific. We'll be back next week on our usual time, usual schedule here on YouTube. Just search YouTube search Media Boat Podcast on YouTube. You will find our page. Subscribe to our page to get notifications whenever we go live so you'll never miss an episode. You can find archives of our audio versions of this podcast, which we also make, on Apple Podcasts. Just search Media Boat Podcast there. You'll find us. Join us there and rate and review our show. We appreciate the feedback, if any. You can also catch us on social media. We're on Twitter at MediaBoatCast. We're on Facebook. Just search Media Boat Podcast and like our page. We're on Patreon. If you want to help us out with money, you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us out, keep us afloat. You can also find special features, our thoughts about new releases, and news, extra every once in a while, on MediaBoatPodcast.com. MediaBoatPodcast.com. That'll do it. And when we do video games, we're on twitch.tv/MediaBoat.
Yeah, sorry.
I almost said twitch.tv/video games.
Yeah, that's the breaking news. The Kings trade away 3 players for require 1 defenseman. And they trade away 2 of my favorite players, Marian Gaborik and Nick Shore.
Aw, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week for another edition of the Media Boat Podcast. For now, we are bye.
We are bye. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, YouTube after show live, nothing because Doctor was celebrating.
The oven for cookies.
Yep, Doctor was celebrating Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day.
No, Galentine's.
Galentine's Day.
Galentine's.
Galentine's Day.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week with more news. movie news. Just news, more pop culture news. All right, bye. Enjoy the Olympics.